Howdy, everyone, and good morning. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and welcome to our February edition of our Catch Up with Keeper webinar series. I'm sure some of you are deep in the thick of tax season, so I appreciate y'all making some time out for us here today. And while we give everyone the customary 2 minutes to show up late on Zoom, I would love if people could drop into the chat and let us know where you're calling in from. Right. We're going to go ahead and get things started. So in case this is your first ever Catch Up with Keeper webinar series, first, welcome. Second, the way things work is I'm going to walk through all of the new features we've shipped, and we've got a good bunch of them in the last month. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll intersperse opening things up for questions. If you do have questions, please drop them in the Q&A at the bottom rather than the chat so that I make sure I can get to them. But before that, we have an uncustomary introduction. I'm not sure if any of y'all can see. There are actually people in the back. These people are the wonderful engineers of the Keeper team who make everything possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and show y'all some of the fine Keeper engineers hard at work. There's more in other rooms, but they are the reason that I have anything here to show y'all today. And with that, I'm going to close these doors so I don't bother them. Let them get back to work. Okay. We've got Shayna down here as well. So,
hi guys,
right.
we have more people in this room too, just to give you a sense. We're everywhere.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will dive on in. Have some very exciting feature updates. So we'll start with one that we have already shared before, but I'm going to share it again because I'm super excited to announce Keeper Emails is finally live and ready and available for everyone. So I'm going to quickly walk through a tour of what that means, what you can do, and where you can do it. So the main interface for Keeper Emails is up here in this inbox tab in the top right-hand corner, or sorry, top left-hand corner. And you can see here you have two emails. This is your personal email, and this is your firm email. So your firm email is the practice email that you have previously been using to send emails. And now with Keeper Emails, you can also receive emails. So the basic idea behind this interface is it's designed to be a normal email inbox. So if you're used to using Gmail or Outlook, this should feel very comfortable for you. The firm inbox is designed to be available for everyone, so that everyone can see and collaborate in the firm inbox. And then your personal email is just available to you and in the shared email activity that I will talk about shortly. So speaking of the firm inbox, what kinds of things you can do? Again, first and foremost, it is just an email inbox. This is the exact same thing as what you would see if you opened up this email in Gmail or Outlook, respectively. Important thing to note here is this is mirroring very similar to how our QuickBooks integration experience works, where we try to keep QuickBooks, like all the data in QuickBooks. The Keeper Emails experience is the exact same. So if you go to an email here and you archive it, it will archive it in your inbox as well. If you mark it unread, it will mark that as unread in your inbox as well. So if you do get an email, what are some other things you can do here? Again, Keeper Emails is just an email client. So you can reply, you can forward, you can do anything you want inside of the body of this email that you would do anywhere else. But of course, since this is now in Keeper, you can also do some other things that make this a much more collaborative work experience. So first things first, you can add comments. So there's two major things I like comments for. First and foremost is sometimes if you just like want to work on an email, you want to leave a comment that's like something you want to get back to, maybe when that person sends you a follow-up, you can just leave a comment here. It could be like a link to a helpful resource. But much more commonly, Keeper, the commenting system is most commonly used so that you can tag a team member. So here you can tag a test user here, for example, and say like, please give Ben, or like, please let me know when we should expect this so I can give Ben an update. This works the same as all of the other comments in Keeper. So it will show up in test user's notification inbox. Test user will be able to click here, respond. We can have a back and forth conversation. And this also has resolved states as well. You can also see the comment thread here as well. In addition to comments, you can also add tasks. So if I wanted to create a task here in DemoCo, I can choose if I want to add a custom task or a closing task or tax return task. I'll make a custom task here as well, and then give Ben a status update. I can assign this to someone here and assign this to that same test user. Select a due date, we'll say tomorrow, and then I have to pick a section here, so I'll pick this as general and see that task. This task is now going to be linked into DemoCo here. And so again, if I wanted to go and pull up DemoCo, I can click directly to that, see that task here, give Ben a status update, and then you can also see the email linked here as well, back and forth, live updates. So if Ben added a follow-up, sent another reply, you would see that reply here as well. Okay. So those are a couple of the main things you can do inside of the inbox here in Keeper. But one other really exciting thing you can do with Keeper emails is as you start connecting different personal emails, you can also take advantage of Keeper's shared email history, which is this tab right here. So to find that, you go to your portal and then email history. Email history right here is going to show you all sent and received emails associated with contacts that are in this client. So here, portal settings. These are all of the contacts that you'll see inside this client. And those are all the messages that we'll see to and from in the email history. So here we can see that same message that we sent back and forth. One important thing I will mention about the email history. If you have yourself as a contact in a client, then you are going to be considered a contact. So if you have your personal email set up and integrated, and then you also have your personal email as a contact in a client, then all of your emails will show up in the email history, which you may not want. So what I would recommend is if you have yourself set up as a contact in a client file, remove yourself. That would be my recommendation here. If you want to see what a client sees, we have for a long time had this preview option here, which will give you the experience. And then if you want to still have a contact type experience, what I would recommend doing is creating a separate client file that only you have access to so that you can play around with it. And the shared email history will continue to work as normal there without it sort of jamming things up and letting everyone see your email history there. But other than that, your email history is designed to work basically all of the emails back and forth with your contacts right here. You can search through them so you can see anything that's to the firm inbox, anything that's to my inbox. If Shana connected her email, anything that's her inbox. So it's a really powerful way to quickly get context on the latest conversations that you've had with a particular contact. And then last but not least, pricing. So we wanted to make sure that this is something that everyone could at least take advantage of, a large portion of this. So the firm inbox, the inbox you've already connected for your practice email if you have Keeper Premium, that firm inbox is free. So no added cost to use firm inbox. And if you want to connect an incremental personal email, that's $10 per personal email per month. All right, and with that, I will pause and take any questions now on emails before we move on to some of our other exciting updates. Tawny asked, is there a setting if I do not want my entire team to see the firm inbox? Not currently. Right now, if you do want that disabled, then just write into the chat and we will temporarily disable it. We are working on better permissions for Keeper emails, so you can choose who you want to see different parts of the app. So there is a candy on that, but that also should be coming in the next few weeks or so. So yeah, definitely that's on our radar. Esta asked, would love to see a delete option. Otherwise, it works great, and I love it. Thank you, Esta. I'm glad to hear that. And yes, a delete option is coming as well. Sue asked about deleting emails as well, as mentioned, coming soon. Christine asked, can you have client contact emails that do not receive transaction questions? For example, we want a client email included for the email inbox, but not to receive notifications for questions. It's a great question. It's actually been asked a couple of times before. So the short answer is no. If you want contacts to show up in your email history, then they do need to be in here. And if they're in here, they are capable of accessing client communications. However, if you use Keeper emails in conjunction with assignable questions, then you can choose who gets assigned to a question, and this determines who sees those questions in the portal. So if you turn on assignable questions, then that should address a lot of those problems. I will mention separately, this has shined a light on the need for sort of more robust permissioning of contacts in the portal. So that is something that we are working on. But in the meantime, would recommend enabling assignable questions. If you have certain questions you don't want going to certain people who you want to add as contacts, you can see them in the shared email history. Okay, Carmen asked, would it be possible to move the notification inbox or in-house comments next to the inbox so it is easier for users to see? It's a good question. Not currently possible. Definitely a good option for Canny and definitely something we can consider. Christy asks, is there any way to not allow responses for the firm email inbox? Not currently. Currently, if you have access to it, you can send responses. However, for something like a personal email, if I shared my personal email thread with Shayna, Shayna could not respond to that. So it's basically only if you have access to an email inbox do you have sending permissions. Like I said, we are working on a more robust suite of permissions for keeper emails post-launch. Okay, Joanna asked, please explain the two inboxes on my screen again. Okay, so there's two inboxes here. The first is what we call the firm inbox. This is the free inbox, so this doesn't cost anything to set up. And this one is your personal inbox. I know this is confusing because I have like Ben at and Ben at here. So sorry, it's like the sandbox confusion. But this one is the firm inbox. This one is free, and this is the one that everyone can see, modulo a few weeks from now when we add better permissioning. And so if you're watching this in like, I don't know, late March, the answer is this will have more permissions. But this email, this is your personal email. Only you can see this email. Although again, we're working on better permissions. You can do things like delegate access. And this is basically the same suite of collaboration capabilities. So you can still comment on emails. You can still archive emails. Still use this as your personal inbox. But only you can see this email. And this one is the one that's charged an extra $10 per client, or per not per client, excuse me, per email per month.
Can we clarify the firm email that it's the same as your practice email? Because I'm not sure if everyone understands that.
Yeah, great question. Your firm inbox is your practice email. These are one and the same. So this here is going to be the same as if I go to practice settings, client portal, branding, practice email. These are going to be one and the same. So I changed this here. That would also change this here. Adrian asked, my personal email is showing as the same as my firm email. How do I change this? Easy way to change this is to change one or the other. If you didn't mean to connect your personal email and you only want to have the firm inbox connected, you can just click here and revoke access. Same basic principle. If you want to connect a different email to a personal email, you just click revoke access and then connect a different email afterwards. And if you wanted to change this email, then again, in your practice settings, client portal, branding, practice email, changing your email here will change your firm inbox. Linda asked, how soon before non-Gmail users my email is connected to my website address? So today we do support both email, Gmail and Outlook. That is all we support at this time. We are looking at definitely adding support for other mail clients soon. I don't have an immediate time estimate on those. I do think we have a couple of cannies in there, and if we don't, please have them for your respective email client, and we will provide updates there as we add more support for other mail servers. Christina asked, will there be a feature like assignable questions that can be assigned to multiple contacts, like 2 of 3 contacts? Yes, this is exactly what I was alluding to in terms of needing more robust permissioning. This is other things like a sort of super admin contact. It's not what we would name things. I'm not particularly good at off-the-cuff naming, but yes, things like that will be available in the portal for sure. Laura asked, does having the email function turned off affect the W9 request functionality? So when we say having the email function turned off, if you have keeper emails turned off, like this email experience turned off, that will not affect the W9 request functionality. You can still continue to use the W9 request functionality to your heart's content and nothing will change. If you do have this practice email setting, disabled, that will affect W9 functionality, but that's the same as it's always been. So short version of this is, if you don't like anything you've seen here over the last 15 minutes, completely ignore it. It will not change your experience. Courtney asked, what about moving emails to folders instead of archiving? This is also something that we are working on. So yeah, great question there. Terry asked, if you make a change here, will it change my Outlook? The answer is also yes. Cindy asked, when looking at emails from the client page, will you see all emails to and from that client, whether it was from the firm email or anyone's personal email? The answer is yes. So that is exactly how this feature is designed to work. So this will show, this email history will show, you can see all of the spam emails that people send my ben@keeper.app email. So this will show anything that is sent to and from both the ben@keeper mail, my personal email, and ben@keeper.app, my practice email. Laurie asked, can you assign an email if a client emailed me, but I wanted to assign another team member to answer? Can it be reassigned? So we don't have a concept of an email having an assignee, but if you wanted to make sure that someone responds to something, you could create a task linked to that email to assign that email. Or you could create a comment. That's another way of sort of notifying someone and just let them know that you want them to respond. But there's no sort of native email assignee. Kate asked, in other email platforms, you can move or tag emails to folders. To use this as my primary platform, can we do that here? I can see my folders, but I don't see how to move them. Yes, this is coming in the next, it's maybe coming as soon as Thursday, but if not, the next like 1 to 2 weeks. So yes, folder management, label management, all that stuff coming very much. Node deficiency, known coming soon. Michael asked, are there controls for email retention policies, i.e. nothing retained for longer than 12 or 24 months? It's a great question. This comes back to the way that we have architected the system is to respect whatever you do in your mail servers. So if your mail servers delete emails after 12 months or delete emails after 24 months or preserve emails forever, we're going to abide by that. We are not storing, like what we're doing here, every time you go to email history, we're pulling all of those emails directly back into here. So if you delete an email from your email address in Gmail, it will not then show up in the email history. So the email history is designed to just reflect your mail servers, very similar to how in QuickBooks, if you delete a transaction in QuickBooks, it's not going to show up in Keeper. Aisha asked for ability to add tags to emails coming soon. Sarah asked, my personal email is currently the one I'm using as my practice email. Are you saying that everyone in my firm and clients can see all of my emails in the email history now? Okay, so very quickly, so there's a couple of, so in this inbox here, the firm inbox, when you first logged into Keeper, the first time we launched Keeper Inbox, you get a pop-up that says like, do you want to enable this? So if you come here and this says you see the experience the same way that I see my experience, that means every other team member who goes to the inbox can also see this inbox. This is not enabled by default. It is something that the super admin of the firm does have to enable. So if you did that by mistake and you want to turn it off, just write in support, we'll help you turn it off. That said, there was also another question there about clients being able to see the emails. This is something that I don't know. We maybe made a design or communication mistake somewhere. The clients cannot see any of this experience. Like the clients can't see your shared email history. This is like all in your close page. This is not in any way visible to any clients. This is like purely a team member setting, the same way that your tasks in your close page or a team member setting. So if that confused you, one, I apologize. And just to reiterate, the clients can't see this stuff. I mean, if you email the clients can see that because you emailed them, but they can't see like all the shared emails in here the same way that you can. If that confused you, one, please, I'm sincerely sorry. And two, please email me. I'm very curious, like, where we went wrong in this miscommunication. I'd love to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen again. And to the extent we can improve our design and our communication, would love to do that. So one more time, just to reiterate, this is not something that your contacts, your customers can see. This is only something that you can see. Okay, Laura asked if we want to change our firm email to support at or info at, how do we do that? Do we disconnect and reconnect? The answer is yes. Yeah, you go to your client portal, branding, practice email, and then you remove the practice email, and then that will give you an option to connect a new practice email.
I just want to say, just to remind everyone, the practice email is the one that emails your clients the automated reminders. If you have automated reminders set up, so if you're changing this just because of the email inbox, be aware that this will also affect the automated messages going to your clients every Monday or whatever day you have that set up. So again, firm email is this practice email that's sending the automated reminders.
Great question, or great clarification. Lori asked, is there any way you can add more fonts? Definitely something we can look into. We did recently add more like styling and things as part of our new editor upgrade, but that's definitely a good candidate. Kate asked, can a task be created from an email in more than one client? No, although this is something that we are also currently planning to improve. So today, emails and tasks have a one-to-one mapping. So one email can be linked to one task. You can't have one email that's linked to multiple tasks, and you can't have multiple emails that are linked to one task. This is something that we want to improve, so definitely we'll work on improving that. But for the time being, you can only link a single email to a single task. I know that can be annoying if you have like tax 1099 sends you like 20 emails for 20 different clients and they all go into the same thread and you like split them out. So I don't have a good workaround for that other than to say we're aware of it, we're working on it. Christine asks, is Office 365 supported? Yes. Is Office 365, Outlook, all that stuff? Yes, this is all basically, if you use Gmail or you use Microsoft as your primary mail servers, you're good. We support you. If you don't, we want to support you and we will work on it. Carmen asked, is it possible to turn conversation view off in Keeper emails? If you are asking about turning off the email history, you can, we don't have a sort of setting for this, but if you write into the chat, we can turn this off for you. All right, and Tracy has a question about signatures, which has front run my next topic. So I will move right along here. That's the last email question. Great questions, y'all. And I will talk about the next release, which is fittingly right here, and that is eSignatures. So eSignatures and KBA eSignatures are now live in the product. So if you want to send an eSignature request, you do that from your eSignatures. So you go to your client portal, you can create a new request here. And then I will add a document here. Okay, here is where you can choose if something is just going to require a signature or if it's going to require a KBA signature. I'll walk through what both of those workflows look like so you can see them. But the basic idea is if you just want to send a general signature, it's right here. Once you upload a document, it's going to ask you to upload or to add your document fields. And so here we'll add a signature, do that where we want, and a date. That here as well. We can even do things like set up the date to be the signing date, for example. And then we can save that and then send it out. Once we've sent this, whoever we send it to will get an email. See what that looks like. So they'll get this. And then they can come in and sign their document. They can type or draw a signature, sign it, complete it. And that's it. That's all they need to do to sign this document. Once they've done that, they can download the document here for their records. If they are also a contact in the client portal, they can also see all of their signed documents here as well. So that's that document that I just signed. Okay. In addition, I'm going to walk through a KBA e-signature request, although I won't be able to make it all the way through because that would require me putting my my social security number on the screen here, which I love you guys and I trust you guys, but I think probably for the best for everyone involved if I don't do that. But nevertheless, we'll walk through what that KBA e-signatures process looks like. Once again, just going to use the same document here, although this would most commonly be with like an 8878 or 8879. And then here we suggest KBA e-signature. We're going to add a document field. One thing that you'll notice is I'm doing the same thing twice. And so to preempt some questions that I'm sure will pile in here, we are already working on templates that should be live either by Thursday or by a week from Thursday. Once again, here we can just do the same thing. And also make it required. And make it the same date. If you set something to be KBA signature required, basically what is going to happen is the contact is going to be required to fill out a form and then pass a knowledge test to verify that they are who they say they are. If you want to make this easier on them, you can fill all this information out for them. If not, they will have to fill it out when they start their request. So I'm not going to fill that out here. I'm going to go ahead and just send this. And then one note here on pricing, KBA signatures cost $1 per signature. This is what it cost us. We were passing this along at cost, so we're not making any money on this. But essentially, KBAs require like a soft credit pull. It's like a weird thing, but anyways, there's no way to do it for free, unfortunately. If we are able to drive the cost down here, we would love to. But as of now, we have to pay $1 per e-signature request, so that's why it costs $1. Okay, once again, that will go here in awaiting e-signatures. And here's that e-signature test. Actually, let's open this here. Okay, so here we've got our e-signature. And start our identity verification. I have no idea what kind of questions it's going to pull up here. Yes, okay. So normally this will like walk you through a like have you been associated with this address? Have you been associated with that address? Like, is this your mother's maiden name? And basically you go through this form. If you answer all the questions correctly, then it lets you e-sign the document that is behind the KBA gate. All right. And yeah, last but not least, pricing. So e-signatures are completely free. KBA, all this is part of our tax suite. E-signatures are completely free. KBA is $1 per e-signature. And yeah, templates, once again, are coming next week. All right, on to the Q&A. Tawny asked, when we send the signature requests, does the signed document get emailed back to everybody? That's a great question. This actually depends on whether, so short answer is the email that says this document has been signed does not contain the like PDF. That way, if you're like sending something super sensitive, you don't want it to go into someone's email, it will not. That said, if you if you are a contact, as I already mentioned, you can go into the portal and see your signed documents. And then also when you sign the document, you're able to download that signed document for your records as well. So if you are the signatory, you will have access to that document, but we don't just automatically email it into your inbox. Christina asked, what is KBA? Is that a US thing? And much to the groaning of every US-based CPA, unfortunately, yes. So there are certain documents that the IRS says in order for these to be basically legally binding, you need to have what's called a KBA check. KBA stands for knowledge-based authentication. And it basically means you pass some test that proves you are who you say you are and who you are who you're signing. The two most common forms for this are the Form 8878, which is basically the taxpayer giving the tax filer the authorization to file an extension on their behalf, and then the 8879, which is the authorization to file. So basically, it's me. If Shana were doing my taxes, it'd be like me, Ben, saying, yes, I approve that Shana can do my taxes and submit that return to the IRS. An anonymous attendee asked, is KBA Signature available in Canada? As of now, it's an only US feature because we couldn't find any use cases for it in Canada. And I'm pretty sure it only runs based on US settings. So if you are a Canadian out there and for some reason you want KBA signatures, shoot me an email. Would love to learn more about that. Okay, and then a few questions here about where eSignatures lives. So eSignatures is a part of our tax suite. So that is basically you have to enable the tax suite to use eSignatures. We are looking into some options for sort of making this more broadly available. But at the moment, you have to enable the tax suite in order to see eSignatures.
Do you maybe want to then briefly mention then enabling the tax suite if people don't know about that?
Yes, yeah. So the tax suite is Keeper's sort of broadened set of tools for client communication, mostly oriented around tax, and workflow to better support tax returns. So basically, it gives you the ability to have tax clients in addition to monthly close clients or quarterly close clients. It gives you the ability to send organizers, the ability to send e-signatures, and then it also has things like a pizza tracker in your client portal where you can show your clients the status of their return. So that very first example I showed earlier, what status of my tax return, you can pre-up that question by showing them in the portal.
And if someone wants to enable that, what should they do?
Email sales@keeper.app, or you can write into the chat here and ask to have that turned on as well. Okay, we have one more question coming back to emails from Christine. If I mention a team member and or assign the email as a task, will the team member be able to access any attachment on that email? If on that email thread, the answer is yes. Yeah, if someone sent an attachment here, they would be able to see that. Grace asks, is there a fee for the tax suite? It does require a minimum of 20 connected clients, but there's no additional fee beyond that. Okay, well, speaking of the tax suite, we do also have some more updates there. So first and foremost, quick update, as I was just mentioning in the pizza tracker. If you previously, we would show all prior tax returns here. Now we have added a new section called tax returns where they'll see prior filed tax returns and then the latest tax return tracker as well. Juan asked, how do we see this progress status for the tax returns? Great question. If you have not enabled this, it is actually a practice setting. It is in your, gosh, our settings have gotten officially so big that I think it's in Show tax tracker. Yeah, so it's right here. You enable this, and then this actually maps to your internal statuses. So basically you can have internal and external statuses, and then these are what your clients will see, and then also the description. And then the internal status, you can say, okay, I want in progress to map to the tax tracker status in review, extension file to map to the tax tracker status planning, and so on and so forth. All right. One other update. I know some of you who've been early users of the tax suite have been asking for this pretty much since we launched it. And that is you now have the ability to download the tax return list on the client list as a CSV. And last but not least, if you are sending an organizer to your clients, those you can now have organizer slides be required as well. So if we create an organizer here, grab a template. And crash the page. Whoops. The perks of being in my my demo environment is we have like all this random stuff that is like lurking that is not in other people's works. So we'll just go ahead and add draft here. And here, if we wanted to make a short answer required, we just open up our slide settings and say answer required. All right, those are the tax suite updates. And now also have some exciting keeper receipts updates. So like I said, team's been busy. Folks back there, I think they've all gone for lunch. But other than that, they are usually very, very busy. Okay, next exciting update is invoices. You can now post invoices through keeper receipts, which means you can now post every transaction type through keeper receipts. Amy McClory, if you're out there listening now or as a post recording, thank you for being the squeaky wheel to make sure that we got this in. I do sincerely appreciate it, and I'm glad we finally got this live. I hope you're enjoying it. But I know you're not the only one who asked for it, so everyone else who asked for it, thank you as well, and excited to finally ship this one. So that's invoices. One other new exciting update in Keep Receipts is the ability to view related files. So if your contact, your client sends in sends an email that has 2 or more files attached to it. Previously, you would have to just like go view each of these one by one and try and sort of find them and line them up. But now we have this new related files feature. This will let you see any other files that were in the original email that your client sent to you. And so here we can see that other document here. We can merge it in as well, so that if we wanted to then combine those two, we can merge them, and then we can post this all as a single transaction. All right. And last but not least, we also have upgrades to the mobile app experience as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my mobile app screen. All right. So big update here is in the capture experience. So now instead of a I don't have anything a picture to take here. Just take a picture of this blank sticky notepad. But so now instead of just taking a picture, you have the option to take a single, batch, or multi-page. So single is just like normal, single picture. Batch is if you wanted to take like 5 pictures of 5 separate receipts. And then multi-page would be if you had a 5-page PDF that you wanted to scan all at once. So we'll just do 1, 2 here to demonstrate the batch. So first, we're going to take a picture of 1, and then we're going to take a picture of 2, and that's it. We can now move to next, and then basically you can describe you can just describe what this is for. Say 1 is the loneliest number. So 2 can be as bad as 1, and upload, and that's it. Once you have uploaded those, you can immediately move to a next capture. You don't need to wait for those to upload. So we'll do that all locally. And then in addition, we did add this other option for uploads so that a contact can see all of the files that they've uploaded, regardless of whether they've uploaded them here, going into the web version and uploaded them there, sent them in as a text, or forwarded them in as an email. So we can see those last two uploads here, and they can see the file they uploaded. They can also come in and edit their memo if they want here as well. Okay, so hopefully y'all will find those improved, or your clients will find those client portal updates valuable. I suppose I'll sort of take this opportunity to mention as well, if you have not yet launched the client portal mobile app to your clients and you want to do so, best way to do that is to use an email blast. So you can come here to your emails. We could use the, for example, mobile app announcement email. This lets you know about this lets all your contacts know the mobile app is live. And then you create a draft email here, send that to all of your contacts, and then send that as an email or schedule send it. Okay, couple more minor updates while we are here on the close page, or while we're here on the client list. One more minor update. There's almost oversight or a bug fix, sort of big enough, and I think it hopefully is impactful enough that I am going to call it out here. And that is, for whatever reason, we didn't have the ability to leave comments on. We had the ability to leave comments on transaction questions from the quick view here, but we didn't have this on non-transaction questions or inbound questions. So we've added that here as well. Now you can have a conversation about an inbound question without needing to go directly into the close page. All right, and last but not least, big update that I think some of our earliest customers have been waiting for like 4 years now, is you now have the ability to hide closing sections. You've had the ability to hide non-closing sections for a while, but you now have the ability to hide closing sections too. And they'll basically go here down as well. The same basic permissions architecture works, so admins can hide them, standard users cannot. And it hides on a client-by-client basis. And when you now add a new section here as well, you have the ability to choose whether that section is visible or hidden across all clients by default. All right. Well, with that, I will go ahead and turn back to the Q&A and answer any remaining questions. Amy, I can see was here, so thank you, Amy. Carolyn said, how do I get the phone app for myself and clients? First is, just to be clear, this is primarily an app for your clients to use, not for you. I appreciate your patience there. We definitely do want to ship a mobile app for the firm. It's just, this is for the client portal. Shayna, if you could drop a link to maybe just the mobile app help center article. Also, if you want, just like another way, is that same link that I went to for my templates here. So these would be the iOS and Android download links. Juan asks, is there any way to have two tax return status trackers, for example, if a taxpayer is a sole S Corp owner? Oh, okay. I think I understand the question. So this is like if the taxpayer is going to have a 1040, and then the S Corp is going to have the 1120S. So short answer is there's not a way to have two tax trackers, but what we actually recommend doing in that case is setting up two separate client records. So let's say you have like John Smith and then Smith Consulting. So you'd have one client for Smith Consulting, and then you'd have John Smith as a separate file. John Smith might even just be a tax-only client. And as a reminder, tax-only clients are free. And that way you could have one tax return tracker for each client. So you could have the tax return tracker for the 1040 and the tax return tracker for the 1120S. Galaxy asked, what about comments on receipts? Definitely something that we are working on. Christine asked, is it possible to reorder items within a section for specific clients? Not 100% sure I understand the question, but if, for example, you wanted to move two tasks, like move a task up, you can just drag and drop it like this. Yowsi mentioned FYI in the mobile app, when you have a long list of clients, you're trying to switch between clients. It does not let you choose between the clients at the bottom. We will have to take a look at that. Okay, Joanna asked, where on the homepage, just as a refresher, where on the homepage you can see communications with clients. So I'm going to go back to the homepage here. So it's on this client portal column here. This client portal column is like sadly more cryptic than I would like. We've yet to figure out what a like equally informationally dense, less cryptic method of communicating this is. But if you click this cell, so what the cell represents, just by the way, to recap, in case anyone was like ever curious, this 10 is the number of answered questions. Over 23 is the number of total asked but as yet unresolved questions. So it's basically DemoCo has gone in and answered 10 of the 23 questions you've asked of them. And 2 means you have 2 questions that are waiting for you in the client's questions for us. So if we click that open here, we can see the 6. We have 6 transaction questions and 17. That gives us the 23. And then we have 1 or 5 where the client responded in transaction questions and 5 where the client responded in non-transaction questions. So those give us the 10. So that's the 10 over the 23. And then the inbound questions, we have 2 that are waiting on us. And those are the ones that trigger the 2. That's what that represents. Apologies if that is confusing. And Joanna, to answer your question, you see that on this column here. If you don't have this column, you can add this in your customized columns options. It's called Client Portal. And then this is also where you can see, respond to questions, and leave comments on them, or add files, or view attached files. Aisha asked, are comments on receipts coming soon? Second person asked this, so definitely we'll have to find that, Candy, and provide an update there, but definitely something that we want to work on. Laurie asked, have dependencies been added yet? And the answer is no, not yet. But it's definitely something we talked about. Carolyn asked, what is the answer to utilizing signatures? You're just a bookkeeping firm. And just to restate, while it is called the tax suite, you can actually use the tax suite if you don't have a tax practice that will unlock your access to organizers and eSignatures. And if you want to enable tax suite, just reiterating Shana's point from earlier, you can write into the chat or shoot us a message at sales@keeper.app. In asked, can we get a daily summary of activity and client uploads instead of an email for each upload? That's a great question. I think this is also a great improvement. Would take one moment to mention that this is not the venue for asking for features. We do appreciate them, but the proper venue for this is Canny, because that will, we use Canny as essentially a prioritization system and a communication system for all features in the app. So if you post this in Canny, that will, 1, let other people see it and vote on it, and 2, we sort of rank and prioritize and communicate against that. So it's definitely better than just like dropping it in the chat here, although we do appreciate it, and I do think it's a great feature. Aita asked, why is eSignature not available across the board? Totally fair question. Candidly, this was the easiest way to get it available into the most people's hands. So we are continually evaluating how we can make sure that we can make the most features available to most users. And so this is something that we do want to sort of see how we can work and iterate to make eSignatures more broadly available. But for now, it's just available in tax suite. It looks like that is all the Q&A. So we'll give folks another 1 minute or so to change their minds and ask any last minute questions. Otherwise, we are always here available, ready to support with any questions y'all may have. I always get one more question out of this. Kate asked, and now 2. Kate asked, can you show how to hide archived clients on the client list? Yes, I can absolutely show that. Say practice setting. If you go to your all client settings and then archive clients, this is one where you can see any clients you've already archived. And then 2, you have this checkbox here, show archived clients on the client list. If this is checked, you will see your archived clients on the client list. If this is unchecked, you will not see them on the client list, but of course you can still find them here. Susan asked, what about products and services on receipts? So products and services are live on invoices and sales receipts, not yet on bills and expenses, although that is something that we plan to add as well. Samuel asked, how do we see the close? I don't know where these questions come from when I say the door's closing. Samuel asked, how do we see that close status progression on the client list? So presumably that is this one right here, close progress. So any column that you want to add or remove from the client list, you do that from this edit columns button. And so you can just search for close progress, and that's what you're looking for. You can turn that on or off, save your view as a new view, or update the current view. And that's how you can control what you see and add the close progress. Carolyn Wilkinson asked, I'm just starting to use Keeper. What is the best tutorial or training resource? I think the best resource I would recommend is our Getting Started with Keeper YouTube series. It walks through in exhausting detail every single surface in the product and how to use them, how to get the most out of them, what weird gotchas you might want to be aware of. So Shana, if you can post that as well, we will definitely, that would be my recommendation. That's also great because it's sort of broken down into bite-sized chunks. So if you want to learn more about the final reviews or jump around to the portal, jump around to the management reporting, jump around to time tracking, you can find the video that you want to look at. And that's my best recommendation there. Of course, in addition to that, our help center is available at help.keeper.app. And then you can also reach out to us with any questions if you ever are stuck or just want to learn how something works. Renata asked, after episode 15 of the Getting Started series, are there other YouTube videos? Gosh, this is cool that there's like episode numbers. So we are continuing to add other episodes to the Getting Started series. There are other YouTube videos. You can basically see them all at channels. If you have the link to the Getting Started series, if you click the channel provider, we have some other videos as well, some other best practice guides and things. Some of them might be more dated than others, but definitely we want to continue investing in our YouTube channel, building videos for y'all to use and see and learn how Keeper works. All right. Well, with that, folks, second window questions has been answered. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoy the new features. We have a lot of exciting ones to ship in the month and months to come. So a lot of good stuff coming, but thank you all so much for your energy, your positivity. For those of you who deal with taxes directly or indirectly, I wish you all the best of luck getting through the remainder of busy season. And if there's anything we can ever do to help, you know how to find us. So hope you all have a good rest of your Tuesday.
Bye, guys.